everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I would like to share another haul video with you guys. Now, don't judge me, but I do have another small haul. I know I just did one recently, but I did pick up a couple other things and I would love to share them with you guys. So a couple of these supplies are going to be drawing supplies. Some are for acrylic, some for pastel, and a lot of this video is going to be on watercolor supplies. So I'm really excited to share some of that with you. Some of these things came from Jerry's, Blick Art Materials, and even a few things came from Hobby Lobby, so I'll point those things out along the way. Before we get started, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, share my videos, and give me a thumbs up if you would, because it really helps out my channel, helps me to grow and reach more people. So the very first thing that I picked up was the Derwent Tinted Charcoal Pencils. I am excited about these. Now, when these had first come out, they weren't light fast, and they've gone through several different kind of incarnations of these pencils. They've evolved and sort of changed a bit over time. The new ones, however, are light fast, so that is really good, and the information is available on their website. Unfortunately, they don't put it on each individual pencil, but I actually really so far love these. I've swatched them out a little bit and played around with them more than you might think, actually. I've even tried them on some different papers, wet and dry, and I've not sharpened them even one time, and it looks like a little is really going to go a long way. I would like to do a full review on these pencils coming in the future, so stick around for that. But and also offering some alternatives and maybe things you already have in your own collection. But I'll give you a little preview ahead of time. Here are the swatches up here that I've done of the different colors. Aren't they gorgeous? Those beautiful, muted kind of charcoal colors. And over here I've done some comparisons to the Derwent pastel pencils just to see what, if any difference really there'd be between them, and there are some differences, and I'll point that out more in the review video that I plan to do. I've also done some wet swatches with them to see how they activated with water, and I liked that effect as well. So I have a feeling these would go really well on my Arches cream drawing paper. I think that would provide a really traditional, beautiful look, and of course that paper is cotton and archival quality, so I really want to try them out on that paper as well. But so far I really like these and I can't wait to do a review. The next thing that I picked up was the Spectrafix Pastel Fixative. This works on pastel, colored pencil, graphite charcoal, and a lot of other things. I do actually have a full review up already on my channel on this. It was one of the first videos that I ever did, so I'll leave that linked up in the iCards and in the description box down below in case you want more information on this. But I was running low and I went ahead and repurchased it. When you see that review, the bottle has changed some. They've redesigned the graphics a little bit, but it is the exact same product inside, so that's important for you to understand. I love that pastel fixative. It's seriously like my absolute favorite one, and it's the only one that I use. I also picked up one acrylic painting supply. This is the Liquitex Soft Body in Raw Sienna. If you've been watching me for any length of time, you know that typically when I pick up like a tube of paint, I like to pick up the golden fluid acrylics to match. So like I'll buy a tube of golden, and then I'll buy a tube of fluid in the matching color for fine detail work, because I think that works really well. Unfortunately, I don't like Golden's Raw Sienna. They're not using genuine raw sienna. They're actually using like some sort of earth yellow pigment rather than PBR7, which is really raw sienna. I love Liquitex's raw sienna, so that's why I picked up the soft body. Their soft body formula is really nice. It's really good, but it's not quite as fluid as a golden fluid, but it will work, and especially with a tiny bit of water, very comparable, very similar, and you get more paint. Also, these are 2-ounce bottles in opposed to the 1-ounce bottles. That is the smaller size of the Goldens. The next thing I picked up was I grabbed some more Winsor & Newton watercolors. Now, it might be a surprise to some of you because this metal tin box, I've had this for quite some time. I did a full review on the Winsor & Newton watercolors on my channel, actually on this tin. The original set that I had got, well, I had still altered it some, but it had included 12 colors. I rejected at least 4 of them, And I didn't even get the colors that were supposed to be in the set. It was just a whole thing. So that was one of the things that had kind of turned me off Winsor & Newton, was that you don't necessarily get the colors that are going to be in that set. I had originally gotten a genuine alizarin, so I replaced it with permanent rose. I had gotten yellow ochre and raw sienna, so I'd replaced it with Quin Gold. I think I'd gotten a white and I'd put in Winsor Violet. So I'd rejected a couple colors is what I'm saying. Over time, I've accumulated a couple more colors, and so the first 3 paints here that I had just recently picked up, I got from Hobby Lobby. So I had time to squeeze those into pans already. The Permanent Alizarin Crimson, which is a single pigment. Olive green. Do you see how much more earthy the olive is versus their sap green, which is a little bit too unnatural for me? I felt I had to mix a lot with that color. And I also got burnt umber. It's a much richer brown compared to their burnt sienna, and I actually really enjoy it. And then I was waiting for these to arrive. I'll squeeze these into pans tonight. They're Winsor Lemon, which is PY 175 and is actually light fast and very comparable to PY3 Hansa Yellow Light, but is more light fast. So I prefer this pigment. The set came with lemon yellow, which I actually think is okay, but I wanted to have Winsor Lemon. It's more transparent. And I got Winsor Yellow Deep because I like to have, I love their Winsor Yellow. It's a nice clear primary yellow, but I also like to have a warmer, like gamboge type color. So just a couple changes to the colors I think make a big difference here for me, but also there were a couple things I felt like I would like to go back and revisit these watercolors and do an updated review on them, because I'm coming to them now with a fresh perspective, and I've actually altered my opinion some on them. So I would like to update this review simply because I did notice that some of my favorite colors on my main Stephen Quiller porcelain palette were actually Winsor & Newton's, and I feel like I've come around some. I'm not taking back everything that I said in that original review, but I have actually come to enjoy them for certain things, like botanical work and floral work. So, and I don't want to give everything away, but here's something I've been working on off to the side. Don't judge it yet because it isn't finished. It's just a floral piece that I've been using the Winsor & Newton watercolors for, that I'll feature finished and a demonstration for in my new review that I come back to revisit. But especially for florals and like botanical work, I've actually really been enjoying the Winsor & Newton watercolors. And there are a couple things I felt like did go wrong in that original review, and I'd like to expand more on that in the future. Another thing is that I definitely prefer the tubes over the pans, 100%. There's like a grace period when you first get the watercolor pans home that I wasn't aware of. I wish somebody had said something that's experienced with Winsor & Newton watercolor pans. Nobody did, but I definitely feel like it takes time. There might be a coating on those pans, or maybe it just takes time for them to soften up a little bit and release their color a little better, because I think they perform a ton better now that I've worked them in a little bit. So that's another thing I wanted to mention. Their burnt umber did crack quite a bit in a half pan. If you have that issue with your tube paint, which I think is really common with burnt umber, it's not just a Winsor & Newton thing, add a little drop of honey or glycerin and that should help quite a bit. So I really actually have been enjoying the Winsor & Newton watercolors. My favorite Winsor & Newton watercolor is actually Potter's Pink that I have right here, and I've got it on my main watercolor palette. I enjoy it so much, and I'd like to do a full video just on Winsor & Newton's Potter's Pink. I like it better than any other brand's Potter's Pink. It is beautiful, but look at that lovely, lovely granulation and mixes. Like, it's so gorgeous, so gorgeous. And I'd love to do an updated video on these in the future. So let me know what you guys think, but I'm definitely going to do that video. And going along with the watercolor stuff, another couple things I picked up were 2 of these Arteza round watercolor paper pads. Now, if you guys watch my channel recently, my last haul video, you saw how excited I got about the round canvases. There is something about a round painting surface that just makes me feel really excited about art. And I saw these on Lindsay, the Frugal Crafters YouTube channel, she had done a video, she had done some sort of painting on one of these, and the second I saw it, I literally squealed with delight and glee. I was like, oh, round watercolor paper! And I stopped exactly what I was doing, and I immediately went to the Arteza website to order these, especially when I heard they were 100% cotton, acid-free. I was like, yep, you got it, 100%. I was ordering these. Now, they are pretty small. They're 7-inch rounds, I believe. And what was a pleasant surprise to me was, I'm going to open this one up. I've never bought anything from Arteza before, and I'm going to leave Lindsay's video where she painted on one of these linked up in the description box down below, because I think it's only fair to credit her, since she is the reason that I purchased this. Oh, it's a block. Okay, so even though they're calling it a pad, it's actually like a block. I'm so happy about that, because I was thinking to myself when I was ordering these, how on earth am I going to tape down a perfect circle? But these are actually like a block of watercolor paper. So that's great. It's like gummed on all the edges. Here is the top that comes off. Oh, that looks nice. Looks nice. A little bit of something is on this one though, like glue or something is still hanging on the edges. I don't know if that'll come off. Oh, I think it will. Anyway, so the surface looks really nice. I don't know how the paper will perform because I only just purchased it, but it was 100% cotton. I'm very excited about it. So I picked up 2. They're only 7 inches, but I hope that if it's good that they make more of these in the future and maybe do some 12-inch rounds. That would be really great, and expand on some of the sizes. But the surface looks nice. Like, it's cold press, but it's not nearly as textured as Arches. So I'm excited to try these out. I also picked up, this is not an art supply directly, but it's related. It's just a very small mason jar. I keep my my watercolor rinse water in mason jars. I have some really large ones, a medium-sized one. I wanted this small, shallow one to go ahead and stick my paint puck down into the bottom of. So this would be like my last little rinse water, and I thought that was a good idea, so I picked it up for that. I also grabbed some of these watercolor, these are Niji water brushes. There's 3 sizes here. I like that the largest one has like a clip on it. That's kind of neat. Again, I really love the idea of putting together a travel watercolor kit, and water brushes I think really kind of are the way to go with those. It's certainly a lot easier than trying to carry around like a container of water and like a jar of water or something like that. So these are by Niji. I did have the Sakura Koi ones at one time, and I think I liked that one, but I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of water brushes. I felt like they're hard to control the water, but I'm excited to try these. I also picked up this Faber Castell Artist Pit Pen India ink in white. Now, I got the chisel tip because it just happened to be the one that my Michaels had. Hold on one second. So like I said, I picked up the chisel because it just happened to be the one that my Michaels had, but I'm interested to try the brush nib one. This is white India ink. It's waterproof, maximum light fastness, acid free. And the reason that I picked this up is because I was hopeful. I'm going to swatch some of this out right here. If I turn it, I can get kind of little dots and things. Okay. I was hopeful that, that I bought this also with the idea in mind of a travel watercolor kit, because you're not really going to bring masking fluid with you out and about plein air. So I figured I would be able to use this for my very bright white highlights that I couldn't preserve, and it would still be, you know, archival safe and light fast and all that goodness. And then I've had really good luck with the P.H. Martin's India ink in white, putting a strip of it down and then glazing color over to tint it. So I'm hopeful that I can do that with this as well. But this chisel tip, I was a little bit upset that they only had the chisel tip and they didn't have the brush nib, but I can still do little dots like that. It's actually more useful than I thought. And the ink is probably as opaque as a white gouache would be. So that's really nice. I'm glad that I picked that up, and I'll let you guys know how that works out for me. Going along with the theme of watercolors, I picked up some sennelier watercolors. You guys, I'm really excited about these. I've been really excited about these. I'm very pleased to share these with you guys. So I picked up their introductory 12 set of tubes. I know they have some half pan sets, and I'm just, after the issues I kind of had with Winsor Newton half pans, I was like, no, I just decided I don't like factory extruded half pans. I just don't think they work for me. I knew I wanted the tubes, so I went ahead and I picked up this 12 set. It's brand new. I'm so happy to open this together. Oh. I'm really excited, you guys. I'm really, really excited. So, like I said, you get 12 colors in this box. They're made with honey. I know I love honey-based paints because the M Grams are my absolute favorite paints of all time. I know there's some differences, certainly, between sennelier and M Grams. Here is the tin. I think this is a really good size, you guys, comparatively to like a smaller 24 half pan tin. You can see it is larger, but it's not quite as big as one of those like jumbo 48 half pan tins. There's a decent amount of mixing area here. I'm really happy. I knew I wanted this tin. And here are the colors. So this set comes with lemon yellow, sennelier yellow light, they're French vermilion, sennelier red, which I knew I wanted because it's pyrrole red. You get opera rose, which is fugitive. So I picked up the Rose Madder Lake, which genuine Rose Madder is fugitive, but they're using PV19. So I'm just going to pop that out, pop my own color right in because I'm not going to use opera. You get ultramarine deep, phthalo blue, forest green, phthalo green light, which actually is a dual pigment color, burnt sienna, warm sepia, and Payne's gray. So almost every color in here I'm happy with, but I knew I wanted to pick up a few additional colors to alter this. Instead of the sennelier yellow light, which is a nickel pigment PY153, I wanted PY74, which is their primary yellow, so I'm going to pop that in there in its place. And instead of phthalo green light, because I'm never going to use this glowing neon green, I knew I wanted a yellow ochre. So that's how I decided to customize my little tin there. And just pop those colors off to the side there. You also get a spot for a brush. And you get this very small size 3. I do believe this is genuine sable. Okay, I just checked the tin, and a lot of the information is in French, as you would expect. I know that these are a beautiful honey-based watercolor, and they talk a little bit about that. They're supposed to be very brilliant, very creamy and smooth. There's not really any information on the tin about this brush, but from what I read online, it is genuine sable. I do feel a little bit bad about that because I don't like to use genuine animal hair brushes, so if you're a vegan, it's something to keep in mind. But, you know, it's a very small little brush, and I probably would just, it's not going to stop me from buying the paint, is what I'm saying, obviously. But I think there's room that you could pop in a travel brush. So, like a Da Vinci Maestro little collapsible brush. I don't think there's room for a water brush in there. Now, here's something that's important to me. I want to know if I can pry that little thing out of there because I really want to put half pans in. I think if I took these tubes out and stored them somewhere else, I probably still could get the half pans in there without taking the little riveted metal out. I did pick up more of the Blick half pans because I like them. I got a couple right here. And yeah, I mean, I don't think I have to tear the tin apart and get that out of there if I don't want to. I could easily, you could use some magnetic tape or magnets or really anything, and you could just put them in like that if you wanted, or even, you know, like that, however you want. But if you wanted to be able to use the whole box without the rivets, I'm not sure yet, but when I do my review on these watercolors, I'll let you guys know if I can pry this out of here. But this is a nice tin, a really nice tin, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. Just so you guys know, I will swatch the other colors in the review for you guys, but personally, I just won't be using them for my artwork because I want to sell my artwork, and I don't want to use fugitive colors or these this really glowing green. I just didn't want that. So that's the only reason, not that there's anything wrong with it. The warm sepia really intrigues me. It's PBR 7 and a little bit of PBK 7, so it's a pigment black is in there. I know they also add some pigment black to their forest green. I didn't like their sap green when I was looking through their color selection. They used ultramarine blue, and I think like they probably ended up using that same Nicole yellow pigment that they've been using, but I didn't love their sap green, so I'm going to mix my own sap green. In this instance, the little bit of black that's added doesn't bother me, and I knew even if I was going to buy individual tubes and not get this set, I knew that I wanted warm sepia because it's nicer than their burnt or raw umber. I think it's stronger and is richer, so I knew that was a color. I think almost every color in this set I knew I wanted to try. So I'm not that this yellow isn't usable, by the way. It is. It's just a nickel pigment, and I just don't, I think it might be a little opaque, but I will definitely check. So don't take my word on it because I haven't checked yet. But anyway, I don't want to talk too much about these because, like I said, I'm going to do a review, but isn't that tin beautiful? I love the size, you guys. A good amount of mixing area. This is very, very usable. And if I do some traveling in the future with my intended, then I think I'd be able to take this with me as long as the half pans were secure in there, but I don't know how senneliers travel yet. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's haul video, I can't talk today. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos in the future. Let me know what things, if any, you'd be interested in a review on. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one and have a great day. Okay, bye.